Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Welcome you all to another lesson of our O3 Computer Science programming paper. And in the last class, we completed a pre-release material that was from uh, October and November 2016, and that was relating to the shopping store that gave 1% of every bill to a charity, and all the calculations were required for that charity. Now let's come to another pre-release material. As you can see on the screen, it is from May June 2018, and this will have a different scenario, and it will have a different question and a different situation to understand before we go into the programming lines as solution to solve it. Starting, let's go to the details of this pre-release material, and it will take 2 or 3 lessons to complete it. It is slightly different from the previous ones. So coming to the details of this pre-release material, let's start by reading the questions. It says in its pre-release details, a farmer records the milk production of a herd of cows. Herd means a group of cows. Every cow has a unique 3-digit identity code. So we mark every cow that is in the herd of that farmer and give it a 3 digits identity. Each cow can be milked twice a day and 7 days a week. We get milk from every cow 2 times a day. We will name some variables to represent that. The volume of the milk from the each cow is recorded in the liters, and it is correct to 1 decimal place. This is a hint that is provided that we should use the variable that can handle the decimal value. And according to our studies, that variable is double, and we will do some technique to fix it that it handles only one value after the decimal. The size of the herd is fixed. Okay, at the start, we will ask how many cows are there in the herd and what number is entered. Every code is fixed to those number of cows. The farmer also identifies the cow that has produced the most milk that week. So we will be checking the total production of milk for every cow. The farmer also identifies any cows that have produced less than 12 liters of milk on 4 or more days of a week. That means some ill cows, we will also count them. A program is required that record the yield for each cow every time it is milked. Calculate the total weekly volume of the milk for the herd. That means we have to add the production of every milk into one single value and the average yield per cow in a week. We will calculate everything that is being mentioned. The program must also identify the cow with the best yield and identify the number of cows which have produced less than 12. We have to create and we have to calculate different results which will be printed in the task 1 and task 2 and task 3. So let's start with the first paragraph and we code according to the task. So let's come into the task number 1. In the heading of task 1, it says record the yield. That means in the task 1, we will concentrate on getting the inputs and storing them. It, in its description, it says write a program for the task 1 to record the milk yield for a week. Suppose there are 7 cows in the herd. Now we have to record the morning yield, the evening yield for every cow, and our input will be for 7 days. Suppose some supervisor in this dairy farm records the values on a paper, and on the seventh day, he sits on a computer and pass along all the data that has been collected during the entire week. The program records and stores the identity code numbers. We have to provide the identity codes also, and the yield every time a cow is milked. Okay, let's start with the inputs that are required to create the solution of task 1. How it will work? Let's go into VB. We open the Visual Basic over here, and this is our main programming area. In this programming area, now we are going to create the solution for the task 1. And in this solution for the task 1, we begin with a variable that is called dim herd as integer. This is a variable that will ask how many cows are there in your farm. So appropriate prompts means that we have to first make a console.write line. Here it is, and it asks how many cows are there in the herd. This will be a fixed value. Once received, it will not be changed. Here we say herd is equal to console.read line. It will get your input, and then it also says console.write line number of cows is recorded successfully. What you have provided in the input, you have told the programming how many cows are there. Now, for every cow, what we need dim morning milk and evening milk as double. Why I have created it as double is because in the pre-release material, he told us that the input can be one value after the decimal. That means the output of a cow can be 12.1 liters or 13.6 liters. So we have to handle the points value. That is why in this declaration, you need that variable type as double. Now we have to store 7 morning values and 7 evening values, and for that purpose we need to declare one dimensional array. We call it morning with 7 values, and similarly this is morning, and here it is evening with 7 also as double. We declare it double because these variables will be getting the input from the M milk and E milk, which stands for the morning's milk and E for the evening's milk. Now, how we start the input? There are 7 days in a week, and for that purpose, we need a loop that is for M is equal to 1 to 7. We close this error window to make it more visible. Here we have created a for loop that is for values starting from 1 and it goes up to value number 7. What we will do in it, before that loop starts, we say console.write line, enter milk production for each cow. And over here, we will start collecting the inputs. Since it is in the for loop, we say m milk is equal to console dot read line and e milk is equal to console dot read line. We will also mention the appropriate prompts. So it will say console dot write line, enter morning milk for cow, and here we add m. That m will mention the cow number 1. Inverted commas are required over here, and this will make enter morning milk for cow 1. And for the second input, it will say console dot write line, enter evening milk for cow number. It will also be m. So every time you provide an input, it will be stored over there. And when this loop runs, it will I will highlight the number of lines. This code is able to record the production of one cow only. But in the herd, there are more than one cows, so it should change itself. We need another for loop, and how that for loop will work. What for loop is so far written, that is complete. Now we wrap this coding into another for loop, and that for loop is equal to the repetitions as the number of cows in the herd. Here you will write for p is equal to 1, 2, herd, and over here you provide another next. So the inner loop has been wrapped into an outer loop, and how it will work in this outer loop, and before there starts the inner loop, we will say over here cow number p. Now one heading will come and it will say enter milk production for cow 1. That p is related to the outer loop. The first line will be written enter milk production for cow 1, and then the inner loop will start, and that will take 7 times the morning value and 7 times the evening value. We need a little amendment in the inner lines. Enter morning milk for cow number p and day number m. This will amend the things a little better. Now it will say enter morning milk for cow 1 and day 1. Similarly, we change this for the second one. Here it is. It will become P. There is an and sign, and after the and sign, there is P. Another and sign, then inverted commas, and day M. So now we will be going to test this number of lines we have written, then we will go further. Let's write the console.read key. And remember, we have not printed the results, so it will only work on collecting the results. Let's play it and go to the output screen. This is our output screen. And in the first line it says how many cows are there in the herd, and you mention it that we have two cows in the herd. Now it will start collecting the values. First it says the number of cows is recorded successfully, and then immediately the recording starts. Enter the milk production for cow 1, and it is asking for the morning yield of day 1. Let's suppose it is 10. Now it says enter the evening production for the day 1. Suppose it is 12.2. Then it goes to the day 2 and asks for the morning results. It is 11.1. And for the evening results, it is 13.6. Now it goes to day number 3. It has to go till day number 7. So we will go through series of inputs. Now it is day 4, 14 and 12. Then it is day 5, 12 and 17. Then it is day 6, 11 and 12. And finally it is day 7, 12 and 13. Now the first course data has been received into this program, and now going further it is going to ask us enter the production for the cow number 2. Again we have to provide for the 7 days. Let's start again. 12 and 12, the day 1 is completed. 11 and 12, the day 2 is completed. 12, 13, 11, 13, 13, 12, and 11, 12, and the last for the day 7, 13 and 14. So it has successfully recorded according to the requirements of the question paper. We have given 14 inputs for the cow number 1 and 14 inputs for the cow number 2, and now the window will close because we have not given any output statement yet. Let's again go back to the programming screen, and here you can see the task 1 is more than 50% done. Let's come back to the task 1 and see what we have done and what is still to be done. He says write a program for the task 1 to record the milk yields for a week. We have done this. The program records and stores the identity code number. This is missing. And the yield every time a cow is milked. This has been done. We have recorded their production for the entire week. The only thing that is missing is we have to provide the 3-digit codes to every cow. Let's finish it so that our task 1 is complete. This is the VB program. And now in this code, the cow numbers are more suitable if we collect them right after giving the size of the herd. Let's declare dim cow number with the size of herd as integer. If you remember the question paper, it was stated that the cow number should be of 3 digits only. It is not allowed to have a cow number in 2 digits or to have a cow number in 3 digits. And this kind of declaration, dim cow number, in the bracket in this area, if we mention 15, then that means every time when this program runs, it will fix the number of cows to 15. And if you have written in the herd that you have 3 cows, then the remaining 12 cows input data will be fake, because in this place of herd you have written 15. If you are not clear about it, I erase it and I write over here 15. This makes more sense to understand that we are going to assign roll numbers to 15 cows. But in the coding above it, we have given the choice to the user to fix the number of cows, and we give our choice in the name herd. So placing the herd over here will mean that if in this input you have given number of cows 2, then this declaration will also make cow numbers as 2. If you have given 10 number of cows in the above line, then this line will also declare cow number for the 10 cows. Now, how to give the numbers? Console dot write line. Enter identity code for your cows. And how are they recorded? Cow number. We need a for loop. We start it after this console for m is equal to 1 to herd. Now this loop is also tied up with the your input in the herd variable. And here you write m is equal to console dot read line, and you have to close that for loop by entering the word next. That error is also gone. This is your code that asks the user to keep on giving the input for every cow. You can also take this line into the loop and you say over here console dot write line, enter identity code for cow number. We give it and we put up m. Now it will say enter identity code for cow number 1. A bracket is missing, so this error will go, and there is a 9 now, also needs to be removed. So this is a better situation now. It says first these headings come and I gave a blank line, console dot write line, to make things a little more understandable. This for loop will get inputs, and it is not capable still to check that you have entered 3 digits or wrong input. We will keep that technique for our next lesson. We will not make things more complex. So far, we have 90% completed the task 1. The only one thing is remaining, that we need to fix the input that it should only accept the value between 3 digits. So let's finish it. I place it a do over here, and in the next line I say loop while that go back for the input when the cow number at m is less than 100, or the there was a slight breakup. So let's go back into the screen again. We are into the last moments of our class. So coming back to this point, loop while cow number is less than 100 or the cow number is greater than 999. This condition will now fix your inputs to be 3 digits. The 3 digits starts with 100 and the 3 digit goes up to 999. And we have fixed the condition over here that the input will only be accepted if you have entered the right 3 digit format. Otherwise it will go back and re-ask you for the identity number to the same cow. And we need a message to print. I copy it and I come to the next line and I say, if it happens, then console dot write line, your number is not valid. Re-enter. Next is already there. So we complete our code in this line. There is 999 missed. Now the error is gone. If cow number of m is less than 100 or cow number of m is greater than 999, we need an and if. Here is the and if, and this is done. There is no error. The task 1 is complete. I will share this code with you on the chat room. Concentrate and solve it by yourself by typing the same lines into your Visual Basic and solve the worksheet also. This is the end of our lesson, and we will meet again in our next lesson.